Good evening. Once more, here again to do another video live stream. I told you there are so many things we have to react towards. It's only that time does not allow. Wanasema Kenya, masaa ni mengi, muda. Hey, kazi ni nyingi, masaa machache. The Bible says there's a lot of work in my farm, but the workers are few. Na hapa Kenya tunasema masaa ndio machache. But kazi ni nyingi. So on YouTube streets, especially politics come in every hour, guys. So welcome on board. It's your host, Priska, and some critique about what you've just seen in the country, things that have backfired. Guys, sometimes you may say something thinking that you're just talking to innocent people who do not understand what you're saying, only for it to backfire on your face. It's like spoiled eggs. They do pollute the environment, and they can break just inside your eyes. So they always say pilipili usioila inakuwa shiani, but I'm a Kenyan. This one really pisses me. It directly touches me. But however, I'm liking the response of the youth. They are doing it right in time. You can't joke around with the Gen Z. However much you are condemning them, they are going to change the game. They're the game changers, we like it or not. So guys, ladies and gentlemen in the house, welcome on board. Feel free to react, to respond, and give your opinion. If you think I'm not doing what's right, you're free to also say so, because it is what it is. Remember, this is where it started. The youth sending a message, one or the other, not just one but many. And then after that, the response of the politician trying to silence them, telling them to keep quiet or do what it's expected. Now, the game has continued to go on. Now, this is about Mudavadi. Did you ever imagine that Mudavadi would talk about social media? If you don't know that he did, remind yourself about this juice here. Ginger and tea put together, it's a whole funny narrative. Close the door properly, please. Yeah, so let's get going. We start with Mudavadi. This is what he had to say.
Because what is happening, as you have seen, the United States has now said that they are going to introduce a parameter of following your social media footprint. Kile unaweka kwa mtandao, ukitaka kusafiri, kwenda kwao, wanaanza kuchunguza, kuona mtandao wako ulikuwa wa aina gani.
So now guys, that is Musalia Mudavadi for you. He has been irrelevant in the government, but now he comes out to be relevant in one way or the other. Now he wants the Kenyan youth in being wary about using social media. Reasons being that we may be visiting their countries and they have introduced a platform to monitor what we say. Now it depends on what exactly you say and what intentions are. If it's very radical, you might get to be trapped. But then the question is, do you think Gen Zs will even stop to do what they are doing? And if I may ask, if I look at America, sometimes I see very funny pictures of either the President Trump or any other person. Now, when critics comes to our mind, should we stop doing it? Now, in past, people used to go to meetings and there was a limited space. Now, when social media had to boom in, it became a different scene. Now, guys, you may wonder why your kids are always posting. But this is a different generation. And it's not only the youth. Anybody who is accessing the internet and is able to do the social media thing, they are going in waiting. If you can check on TikTok, you may find it funny that even the old are there, shining, walking out of the normal platform or the space. The vacuum that was once there, it's no longer there. It's filled with a lot of thought, different personalities that are coming out to show their talents, and some of course are making it. Now this threat from America and Mudavadi reinforcing in Kenya was not just meant to make the young people avoid posting, accusation or what have you. It was meant to silence them, and he wanted to be relevant, just to appear like he was steering something. Daniel Odor, welcome on board. Thank you so much. Big up in the house. Thank you for the shout out, and blessed be your day. Welcome on the platform, and let's ginger together. Now, we have had a series of comments. We've had a series of events coming out in the government. The latest, let's start with it. The latest, of course, all of us understand when the president comes out and orders that anybody who makes a move of course, looting. And looting is not acceptable by anyone. In fact, if you do business, you wouldn't want anybody to loot your shop, right? Chris the Bruce, welcome on board. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the chat. Hi, give me thumbs up as we go by. And thank you for lots of love that you're showing. I so appreciate your presence here. Welcome. Karibu, 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 karibu. All right. So Daniel Odor is in the house. Chris the Bruce is in the house. And there are so many other people coming on board. I really, really like that when you come around. Now, guys, let's come to this. Of course, it's something everybody has heard. Chris the Bruce, I'm very fine. How about you? You can see I'm shining, shining. How about you? Arnold Machaki, hi. How about you? Future Stars 3, uko za wapi? Kamama side Ghana, Kenya. Oh, guys, I'm so glad when you ask these questions. But sometimes I decide, sometimes we may not shout out here, but I'm in Kenya, man. I'm in Kenya, Future Stars 3. But we can chat aside maybe to talk about where and all that. I'm just in Kenya, and therefore we have to go on with the set discussion. Now, guys, I find it funny that sometimes when young people decide to react towards some things that the politician thought they are actually dropping a bombshell on them, it really bursts in their face, just like, say, the egg that is raw. Now, let's go on and see this. This is something I know everybody has watched, and I'm doing it my own way, and I'm going to show you how it had to blast in the face like a raw egg. Now, remember, the president stood, and this is what he had to speak, and all of us heard that. Chris the Bruce said, beautiful, thank you so much. Lots of loves in the house, and I appreciate your presence here. Because without you guys, what would I be here for? I'm always here because you are there. And when I feel your presence, it's so warm, even if it's so cold in the country. I know everybody in the country is feeling cold. I don't know about others, maybe the fans from other countries. I normally have fans from India and other places. And I don't know how it is out there. But in Kenya, it's very chilly. However, you realize that with your presence in the house, it's a bit warm. Guys, let's go on. Hilda Wawira says, you have a good voice. Thank you in the house. I like Dan. Thank you so much for the like. And everybody in the house can give me a like as we proceed. Yeah, so guys, let's go to these political jokes, or rather political jokes that politicians thought they were really busting in our faces, only to come here and have them busted back to them. So let's start with the president of our country. And this is what he had to say, of course. And it really burst in his face. Let's look at this, guys.
Now, President William Ruto has come out blazing.
Here it is.
He accuses of funding chaos. Mtu ambaye anachukua moto anaenda kuchoma biashara ya mtu, anaenda kuchoma mali ya watu wengine. Mtu kama huyo apigwe risasi miguu, aende hospitali, akienda kotini.
Yeah. This is one of the statements that has really carried. Is it the week? All right, like Dan, thank you so much. Thank you for your love. I really appreciate. So that's the first statement. The president comes out, orders, piga hao risasi, waende hospitali, watibiwe. Shoot them, let them go to hospital, let them be treated as they go to court cases. And then it comes back as a bombshell back to him. It starts with this. When I saw this, I was like, the youth in Kenya don't want jokes. So let's start with this. Did you see this meme? And I really saw it and found a lot of fun in it. At the same time, a serious message being sent. The youth saying, all right, we will be lame, walking to court, but going to vote for somebody else. Imagine of this.
Yes. طمني عنك من شان الله من شان الله طمني anaenda kotini. Yes.
Now, guys, this is the meme that really killed me. I was almost like its teachers. Esther Kinga, welcome in the house. Big up to you. Big up. I don't know where you are, but welcome on board. I really thank you. Hilda Wawira, I hope you've not gone anywhere. Chris the Bruce, Future Stars, Arnold Mashaki, and Daniel Odwor, welcome. Just continue. Let's have this fun moment. Now, when I looked at that, I was like, okay, what the hell is this? So people are not joking out there. They're responding, reacting like potassium or rather sodium. If you did chemistry, understand what I'm talking about. So it was such a funny moment when I looked at that. I was like, okay. And so many people have come up with different memes to react to this. And that carries a heavy message. If you took to drama, you understand what it means. They always say communication is a tool. And when you use a funny moment, it becomes so weighty than even any other thing. Now, the president was fuming while giving that message. And did he expect this? Did he really expect this from the citizens? Did he expect that the young people would come up with such memes? Did he? I don't think so. If he knew this would come about, he would have said otherwise. But his message has really sent different nerves in the country. The Gen Zs are not joking. And you can actually see that all these memes, surprisingly, are filling or littering the streets of everybody else. Now look at that. One leg, everybody dramatizing, and saying, okay, so tunatoka enjoyment ya one leg. You see, that is a drama indeed that we'll not forget in the country, right? Everybody there. Now, remember, sometimes if you're a teacher, guys, if you have ever been a teacher in a class and you do something, then you go back, you find students are dramatizing. If you're on duty, you are very harsh and you realize that students are joking about it, it becomes a bombshell to you. Now, it did not just end there. However, it went back to the UN. UN have had a response towards the outburst by Ruto. A leader who goes to war using his words should be careful, because if you watched USA, again, you watched Trump, you watched the other leaders, you've seen what people do. There is a time they even brought Biden. I know what I'm saying. It's part of my social media platform, but I do it for fun and for informational purposes. So UN response, Kenya concerns over death in protest. We had this from the United Nations. Let's look at this message, right?
We are deeply troubled by the killings yesterday of at least 10 people, as well as looting.
Yeah, so Geneva location. We are deeply troubled by the killings yesterday of at least 10 people, as well as looting. Let's go back. It's moving so fast. It's moving so fast. It's moving so fast. Yeah, from Geneva. Let's look at that message there together. We are deeply troubled by the killings yesterday of at least destruction, capital of Nairobi, tear gas, 52 police officers injured, 562 fatalities, 10, 29 injuries, right? A long message. If you can follow up, you'll actually find it. So this is a long message that was delivered. I don't know. I can't even read the entire of it. But if you check on human rights, you'll actually find this message, right? Now, right there. That is a message that sends, again, a warning to the president, that as long as there's outburst, he must be careful and think about what's happening. Now, away from that, the youth still came to the street, and this is what they have to say in the briefs. And I was like, okay, so people are not scared. When Morara retires and Makori retires, another one stands up. I don't know whether they are seeking position or they are seeking wealth or another way of making the youth think that they are represented, when at first we heard that they are leaderless. So now let's listen at this. And what do you judge from it?
This morning, actually, we are very saddened, actually, by the statement issued by the President of the Republic
Joshua
of Kenya.
Munare, hi.
Today, we had come to this All Saints
You can give me a like as we
in
proceed.
honor and memory and prayers of a very innocent young soul, Boniface Kariuki, who was killed in a broad daylight by the rogue police officers
under the cameras was
That's an alarm reminding me of prayer, guys.
sad to hear the statement talk about unemployment. We are asking you because you are the one who told us in a broad daylight during your campaigns that you will provide numerous job opportunities for the young people. You told us we are going to have unprecedented opportunities for the young people. The hope you are talking about, you are the one who did it. Yes, Kibaki was there. Moi was there. Uhuru was there. Yes, the rate of unemployment was still there. There were still some young people who were not employed. But remember, Mr. President, when you came to us during 2022 campaigns, one of the very things you seriously told us and promised us as the young people of Kenya is the numerous job opportunities for us.
So guys, that is how much it busted in the face of the President Ruto. And I know very well when he sits alone, even if he may not say it in public, he is a bit of cruised by this. So let's get to another. Now, it did not just end there, because we've seen today in the Senate just an hour ago what the Senator Sifuna has said in the face of Chergai. So guys, I know we are here with different opinions, different views, and so you're welcome on board. You're free to say what you have to say, no problem with that, because here I don't stop somebody from saying what they want to say. Close the door, please. Close the door. It's cold out there. All right, so guys, welcome on board, and let's keep talking about this. Now, the other thing that the president said, he came out and he said that the people who are unruly are the specific tribe. And of course, Ichungwa supported him, saying that the Kikuyu young men are the ones who are striking on board and creating a lot of fracas in Kenya and violation and all that. And it burst in their faces again. Now, people are like, everyone here is a Kikuyu, yeah? It began to trend and it has turned globally, guys, if you can. You see what I have to say. So it was like, we are all Kikuyus, yeah? And we all went for the protests. Young people in Kenya will kill us with the great dropping of bombshells. Let's see this one here.
Demonstrations were a collective Kenyan effort, not.
So young people tried to prove that it was a collective effort and not an effort of Kikuyu. So this is what they had to say. If you go to the platforms, of course you find this. Let's go through that. I want us to see what they said here. Of course, the young people are rejecting that. They don't want to be divided on political grounds. And let's see here.
You guys need to explain to us. The camera on top of every. We need an explanation.
You know, I low-key, that it just checks in automatically sometimes at home. And then Annie just looks at me like, what are you doing?
Melon, or is the problem putting the melon?
It's putting
On top.
Explain, alafu mtatuambia recipe.
Even if there's a scoop of ice cream.
Let's go to the specific memes here and hear what they have to say. This is what some of them had to say.
From yesterday of we are Kikuyus. We are not going to talk on a tribal line, but we want to make this clear and make a clarion call that we are all Kenyans and Kenya shall never be.
This is it. Let's go through it and observe what is being shared here.
I believe that William Samoei Ruto has big things for us, and I believe that it's high time we give him time to prove himself as the rightful candidate that was elected by the numbers of the Kenyans. And the point I'm making, the point that I want to make so very clear, the tribal and ethnicity politics must come to an end in Kenya. As a Kenyans, we came a long way from the early 1960s, and our forefathers have fought for this country to be misled and to be misconducted at this point. I want to tell everyone, Kenya is a country that's governed by rule of law. If you believe that the leadership of William Samoei Ruto doesn't deliver, wait until 2027 in the ballot.
So let's get to see more on the same from other perspectives. And this is what we have here. The memes that really stood out. This one, let's look for it. Of course, there are so many people who came out after that, and the hilarious memes were really a lot of we had a lot of sarcastic memes here.
Hey, Nyambura, unaitikia jinjoroge ya kudanganya ati you're the most beautiful girl in the whole world na hana passport.
Not that one. We are looking for the current ones on 2025. It must be yesterday. Yeah, so we saw a lot of young people in Kenya from different places saying we are all. Yeah, one of these is here, the trending aspect. So a bombshell again. Yeah. So let's see this one. That was one of them, and there were others whereby many other young people, I think this one too, many young people came saying they are Kikuyus, adding names of Kikuyu, people to their, let's see this. So that was another bombshell, guys, with all Kenyans coming out and saying we are all Kikuyus, yeah, saying that they don't want to be divided on grounds of tribes, but they are fighting a common cause, and therefore they are all Kikuyus. Let's see this one. It had to burst in their face. More came out, the memes, in fact, when you check on that, it has gone globally, and it can be well seen on TikTok and other platforms where everybody is saying we are not tribal. Let us not be put in tribal lens. We are all Kikuyus, right? So that was another meme that came bursting in the face of the government after declaring that we have the Kikuyus are the ones that are creating fracas. Now, of course, if you check online, you'll see more and more. Yeah. And you will be surprised because what exactly is this? When a leader comes out mentioning a tribe, a whole country is not led based on tribe, but based on the demands that the citizens want, right? Now, the same, apart from that, I went back and checked on something about the empowerment that happened 3 months ago. I think it was done in Kapsoret, Machakos, and then it went to Kitui. And so everybody saw what happened. You know, not Farouk actually, but Sudi. This is what Sudi did in his part. Let's see the empowerment process here. And when Sudi had distributed what he did, people came out and it burst again in the face of the government. You know, they started this process whereby they are trying to empower different constituencies and prove that the aspect of, the main government should not be blamed. That was the message. They came out with a message to tell Kenyans that they should not blame the government, because we have specific leaders for specific counties and constituencies, and they should work. So instead of Kenyans blaming the main government and the president, they should blame their own leaders within their specific parts. And so we saw this. Let's check Kapsaret and see what was happening there. And of course, one of the artists who sang here was later on criticized. And we also saw that they had invited some of the leaders from that land. I just wanted the clear picture. This one has just a little bit of that information, but it does not cover everything, right? So during that empowerment process, of course, it happened that Kapsaret, which is almost within the president's vicinity, had been given a lot of money, So they really had a lot of money. And so compared to other places like Kitui, Machakos, they had peanuts. So when you look at the items which had been given to Kapsaret, if you watched that video, because I don't want to play it again, you realize that it was strategic. The individuals from this area had really been empowered, or rather given a lot of goodies, compared to other places. Now let's get to see how it had to again come to, here it is. If we look at this, we understand what happened there. These are the kind of items that were given to people of Kapsaret. If you see the posher mills, the tanks, the motorbikes, the blow dryers, and so many other things. And they were things of worth, was it 2 million? 2 million or more. Yeah. And so we saw a lot of people coming directly to the comment section and saying, "Wah, we are silent but watching." Others were like, "We have eyes and ears. Thanks, Muhesh." Others were like, "Mount Kenya kwani hatuna akili? Unaweza compare boda na 2K beans." Of course, there was a leader, I'm going to show it, who was giving beans to the people in her constituency. Another one was, "This is very bad picture. This is a very bad picture, and our MPs from Mount Kenya feel comfortable even dancing on the podium." Another one was like, "Muhesh ongeza 2M votes versus 6M voters. Na Kimanongo na here." Okay, all that. Now I won't read all the comments, but let's get back and see that comparison. I want you to look at that comparison of the MP at Murima Empowerment Project and Kapsaret. This is what we saw. Can you see that? On the other side, we have a lot, and here you can see what is there. So when you compare this and that, you can see the mathematics is not mathematicking. The mathematics is not mathematicking. And Waruguru is the one who had posted it, right? To show the difference between Kapsaret and the empowerment at Murima. So it was like a blast in the face of the government, proving that this empowerment project is aimed to maybe help some places. And therefore later, we had this backlash from some leaders. This is what they had to say.
Wanaumia. Wanasiasa wanapora mali ya umma, wanawaledea kidogo, alafu wanabeba ile mingi. I wish that money can be channeled to devolution. Gavana Wavinya hapa kila mtu angeletea gunia ya fertilizer, kuku, vile mwananchi anataka, barabara ikatwe kila mahali, na mambo mengi. Lakini sasa ikiwa hatuna fedha ya devolution, jamani tutafanya nini? Lakini kwanza wanaendelea kutoa yale mambo ya mzee Kibaki na Kalonzo Musyoka wameleta katika our sub counties. Sasa wameanza kuzirudisha at the national government.
Now you understand that, you understand. So here, we had some politicians standing out and saying that the empowerment project was a political way of making sure that some leaders are unpopular in their constituencies while others were popular, Because if a leader like Sudi gave all that he gave to Kapsaret, you can't convince me that they'll vote it somebody else. But when you go to places where people did not see actually what they received, they'll automatically kick out their leader. We also saw a young person and a lot of TikTok memes again coming, and this is one of them. This is one of them.
Na mbunge wao ambaye ni Oscar Sudi. Najua Kenya mnajua Oscar Sudi nani? Oscar Sudi hakuingia shule. Hajai soma, hajui kuandika, hajui anything, hajui kutumia hata simu. But yeye anajua kuempower watu wake. Kwa sababu anajua an empowered society is an empowered tomorrow. But it's unfortunate. Sisi Mount Kenya tuko na professor mwenye amesoma, ameenda no school ahead. Amesoma sasa hata hawezi ingia shule. Lakini nataka muone tofauti ya watu wawili. Mmoja amesoma na mwingine hajasoma. Huyo amesoma professor analeta maharagwe Mount Kenya. Na analeta mahindi. To make it worse, this is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Anatoka all the way from office of the president, anaenda kuchukua chopa ya jeshi. Anachukua chopa anaenda Mount Kenya nayo. Alafu to make it more hilariously, ama to make it more comical, anachukua bunge kama 100. Wanakuja wanaanza kutuwawia maharagwe. Professor Kindiki, bwana, wacha ujinga. This is the kind of poverty yenye hatutaki. Nataka ukuje tuambie ni wapi Mount Kenya atulimangi maharagwe.
Now, you see, that was a bombshell, another bombshell that fell in the face of the government, whether it's at the grassroots or at the top, proving clearly the difference in how empowerment was happening. And therefore, the Kenya Kwanza process of empowerment then fell in a ditch. It was cleared through the drain because it did not stand out as something that was equally serving everybody. While others were being given real empowerment, others were just being mocked. Right? Arthur, check on the veggies. It seems they are burning up. You add some water. Now, there's still more in the house. Not much. Arthur. Just little. And then you mix. So, are you seeing those bombshells? Now, let's get to another one, the aspect of borrowing. Borrowing has been a common aspect in Kenya, with the government really doing a lot in borrowing. Now, in the former government, Ruto went about borrowing, and we saw Ruto really campaigning against this, yeah? Just like Raila was campaigning against it, and when he fell into the broad-based government, then he kept quiet about it. That is Kenya for you. That is Kenya for you. Today you are complaining about something, you become part of it, and you keep quiet, you. So, of course, when we saw Ruto going to borrow, this is what came out. Have you checked whether there's a burnout? You've checked? You've not checked. Has it really burned out badly? All right, so here we saw Ndindi Nyoro, and let's hear him.
You know, there are things I could never allow when I was in the previous engagement I had of serving the people of Kenya in the previous capacity. And one of the issues that we have to deal with as a country is that deni ya nchi ya Kenya inaongezeka sana. Leo nimeona, jana niliona katika runinga ya NTV, leo nimeona pia kwa gazeti ya kwamba nchi ya Kenya sasa madeni ni 11.3 trillion Kenya shillings.
Yeah, guys, we have a date of 11.3 trillion Kenya shillings, and that's why we have to really go at a very bitter process of paying a lot of tax. And that is why they have to ensure that they really make sure they collect all the tax from us, right? And it has been a narrative. When the new government is coming in, they say they're not going to borrow. Of course, they use that as a campaign strategy. But when they go in, they go on to borrow. In fact, they prove that they can survive with what we have, right? So that's another bombshell that we've had. That's another bombshell. Now let's go to another bombshell by C.S. Murkomen. C.S. Murkomen, remember very well after the 25th demonstration, even after Ojwang had been killed, he came out to the streets and gave a speech in the State House proving that the police were really working, that everybody was fine, everything was fine. And then came a bomb. He dropped this bomb to the public. So that bomb that he dropped was this, whereby he demanded. What are you doing now, Abby? Let's just check for the receipt. We check for that receipt somewhere. Is it this one, right? Yeah, remember that bombshell he dropped saying that the police should shoot, Arthur, when they are burned up, you don't go on like that. You check and remove that which has burned out. You don't mix with the rest. You're making me talk on camera. Yeah, so let's get to this one. More comment here. This is what he said.
When Interior Cabinet Secretary Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen issued the now infamous shoot-to-kill directive that came in the aftermath of waves of protest that saw police stations ransacked and torched across the country, it did not take long before the public, already worried, handed their disapproval on the matter. Mtu mwenye anasikiwa mawe polisi anataka kuua polisi ati atakuja kubembelezwa anafikia bunduki ni mandazi. And now inside the National Police Service, Murkomen's orders have sown confusion and anxiety.
Now guys, Murkomen stood out and he thought he was a hero by shouting at the police that because bunduki si mandazi, the police should use it, right? And he was so proud at what he said. And of course, he's not even regretful because he's not remorseful. He came out again on after Sabasaba and said he's really appreciating the work of the police. We don't say that looting is right, but then shooting, is it right? Now, and Sudi on the other side said they should even shoot 10, not even Sudi alone, but there was this sub-chief in Uasin Gishu who said that they should shoot even 10 firearms to the person who is rioting, So let's get to check here for some receipts on the responses of some of the people who brought the bombshell. And here is one.
When they approach these stations, shoot them and your defenders. I'm telling you the whole truth, you are a liar. You have lied. You will not protect me. All that you will protect it is your interest. You will not protect me. I will be sacrificed in court before a judge and I will be sentenced to prison. What happened to Katito? He was sung as a hero. But finally, the determination of the court came out.
Yeah, so you realize that that was a bombshell. It is not easy for a police to talk against the boss. But here, we saw what happened. Now, again, another bombshell has come. In fact, it was today. The police who shot Kariuki has been finally judged. And those who killed Ojwang, though some people feel like they spared others, they were also put behind bars. So let's look at this. It was today I saw that police has been put behind bars. I saw those news right away. That is Cleansy Baraza. Cleansy Baraza. Let's just check for it here. I saw the news. Let me just check if I miss it out. Forgive me for that. But it was just like 5 hours ago. With murder charges or something like that. Yeah, here it is. I saw this and this is what I was looking for. So guys, after that order, people have really talked against it. And you can actually see this happening.
Before June 17th, Cleansy Baraza Masinde was just another uniformed face in Kenya's police force, known more for its TikTok antics and viral videos than for making any headlines. But in a split-second decision on that fateful day, Baraza traded his fleeting online stardom for infamy.
Furthermore, the first respondent will be remanded awaiting his arraignment before the High Court to face the murder charges that have been preferred by the DPP.
Yeah, they have chosen the murder charge simply because there was a death that occurred. It's so sad that the victim has died over the shots, and that is the reason why a murder charge has been preferred against our clients. Where a death occurs, a murder charge will be preferred.
Now we have a police force. The police service was a pride of this nation. Mimi nilikuwa niende nikuwe polisi, ni vile nilikuwa mfupi. Yeah? Hata nashukuru Mungu sikuenda. Ndugu zangu, cousins wangu, uncle zangu, everybody wanted to go to Kiganjo. Everyone wanted to be a policeman. Watu walikuwa na bribe mpaka wakuwe polisi. Sasa hizi nakutana na polisi kwa street. Anaanza kuji-explain. Anaanza ku-apologize. Mimi nasalamia tu polisi kwa traffic. Sasa mdosi, Eriko unajua. Eriko wacha nikuambie kitu moja. Sisi wote.
Yeah, so guys, you've seen that bombshell. That is a bombshell in the face of Murkomen. Because the police realize very well that if they do what they do, just as we saw what this police officer did here, we saw that it finally puts them behind bars. And in fact, citizens really were annoyed at what he said. Now let's listen to this also.
Officers now questioning the pronouncements by the interior CS.
My CS.
As president, to make sure that you are safe, your families are safe, so that you can secure and make our country safe.
All right. Now, the other bombshell that fell is when President Ruto said, where do they want him to go? Yeah, so after people began consistent protests, the president asked, where do you want me to go? So he asked the Kenyans, where do you want me to go? You know, let's check on that. This is where he asked
What
me.
I'm asking is that...
And it came back to him. Let's hear here. Of course, he was saying that instead of people asking him to go, they should give him time until 2027, right? And somebody was like, response by Kenyans. So, guys, today it was just about bombshells, and what citizens have said, and I'm really into that, There was a Kamba here who created a funny question, a funny response, But let's go first to what the president was asking here and listen to him before we get to the sarcastic response from people where he must go. And we'll be seeing the humorous counter by some of the citizens as they mocked him and tell him, go where you came from. So others were like, go back to Sugoi. Such an ironical mockery. And of course, we also saw the same response from Gachagua, I think so. Very funny. Now let's listen to the president first before we get to see, because I'm really finding it hard to get these things immediately. Yeah, so this is the question he asked. Let's see this here.
Because I have tried to listen to the people organizing the demonstrations. And they have said three things. They have said they love Kenya, but they hate the leaders. And they have talked something about one term. And they have said Ruto must go. Those are the things I have listened to. And therefore, I want to ask them this, because if you truly love Kenya, as you say, don't burn your country. Violence is not a solution to unemployment. We must be honest, we must be candid with ourselves as a nation, because what is going on in these streets, one term, you can be two term, maximum. You cannot have more than that. So what is this craze about terms? The Constitution already provides for those terms. So please, my simple advice to you, look for a better plan that exists. Do not tell us that you hate so-and-so. This one must go. We don't have another country. Also go and concentrate on farming and be with you, really? Please. There are very few fools in Kenya. Persuade us. If you persuade us, what happens? So that...
Yeah, so this is the platform where the president then asked, where should I go? Where should I go? And I saw very funny memes again on where he should go. Very funny memes, because he said that he's waiting for 2027. And of course, you heard Sifuna today. Let me just play this one before I can go to where memes were playing, because I can't find them that fast. This is Sifuna.
Either projects that have been started or concluded should bear the same sign that I told you about, the road maintenance levy fund. It should say, your taxes have built this stadium in Wote. Your taxes have built this stadium in Kamarin, which doesn't exist, by the way. Honorable Speaker, let me conclude by commenting on something he said. And I was very quiet when he spoke, so I hope he will be quiet too. Honorable Speaker, as a responsible government, you cannot tell us to wait for you to face you in 2027, and you are killing us today. Albert Ojwang is in the ground. He will not be able to meet William Ruto in 2027. So if we stopped, all of us, if all of us agreed, all of us should agree All of us should agree. Honorable Speaker, please don't stop me.
You are now contravening starting on the
Now the Speaker himself is interrupting me.
Starting on the 121.
Now, of course, you know what Sifuna wanted to say. You know very well. He wanted to say Ruto must go. We cannot wait for 2027. That is what he wanted to say. And of course, after a hot exchange with Sergey, and after telling him to sit down, he went forth to roast the president. Now, that is not just that, but I wanted this funny meme on where the president must go. I don't know whether I can find it, but there was somebody who said something here. Let's see this one.
And if it is Ruto, yes, the one that creates more jobs than the one I have, the one that brings down the cost of living than the one I have, the one that creates. This one of mine, I have brought down.
It's not really coming. But there was a very funny meme. I don't know if one of you can remind me very fast where it occurred. But there were very funny memes and where he must go. I can't actually retrieve it. Sorry for that. But those are the series of outbursts that have really come to the streets. And as we keep on discussing, you'll find more and more. Let's see this one here.
This is the journey to one Africa.
What I'm asking is that can I wait?
I think we can end there, guys. I'm so appreciative for you coming handy. I'm so appreciative. So guys, bye-bye. Let's talk later. Let's have more discussions. You can subscribe to the channel, share my videos, and continue subscribing. I'll also